Hello, it's Sage here on the Sage channel, and welcome back to more Singular Survival. We are in quite a pickle, aren't we? Everything in the previous episode or two might have gone terribly wrong. So it's time for us to actually go ahead and put things back together. So I've started here just sort of mining out to get down to this ship, just right-clicking, because obviously the miner didn't really work too well. It was front-heavy. It was completely and utterly front-heavy, and everything went to pot. It was not so much the game's fault as my own and not really comprehending how the game works. If you would like a shiny excuse for me, I would say that, well, usually you put thrusters wherever you please. You don't have to think about their placement and balancing things out, so I didn't really think very clearly when I put the bloody wheels in. Again, my bad. But there's my shiny excuse if you feel like I just needed to toss one out there. Okie dokie. So, as I said, I'm going to mine this out using our right click. Then we're going to bring the flying sausage down here and see what we can grind up. And then I suspect there's going to be quite a bit that we will not be able to. And then I have a plan to go ahead and grab... Whoa, started moving pretty quickly backwards there. A plan to extend our docking areas up here and actually go ahead and build a few more drones today. So that's our main objective, is just getting rid of that ship and then building some more drones. And the drones we're going to be building are going to be, well, probably rather similar to the one that we see right there behind us, pretty much. And it's going to be, instead of cargo containers, it's going to be a grinding ship. Oh, scheisse, what a start. Right, of course. You might be seeing some little lag spikes. That's... Oh dear. Yeah, you might be seeing some weird little lag spike things, and obviously my controls aren't working exactly as they should, because right now I am actually rendering out the footage from the previous bulk of recording. Yeah, so some things aren't exactly working properly, like the fact that we go backwards and suddenly it's like, hey, we're gonna hit something terribly hard, when obviously we aren't moving all that quick back. Or at least that it zoomed back quicker. And you see our simulation speed at the top left is bouncing all over the bloody place. So, yikesy landy. Yeah, I'll fix that and get to work on some stuff. And so there we go, all the pieces placed back in. Just gonna swing by and weld them up, something I'm sure you've all seen a million times by now. Hopefully we have enough motors in there. I did go ahead and mine some iron, I think between episodes or something, because we did run out of iron and some other materials again, because of course we are mass producing quite a bit of stuff. Oh good, look. The collision bug happened again. I love that bug just because of how easy it makes it to build things. It's probably one of the only bugs I actually don't mind at all. Well, okay, I might mind it a little tiny bit, but quite frequently I don't mind having it just because of how easy it makes things. So let's try docking this up again, remembering that our simulation speed is being very finicky and the tiniest little tap can now cause massive amounts of explosion. That scared the piss out of me. I should probably put a docking camera on the back here, that way we can see a little bit easier, but for the time being I'm going to leave that off. By the way, I did put a docking camera on the flying sausage, I just sort of never got around to saying that, so flying sausage now has a docking camera on to make docking it a little bit easier. Alrighty, well, with the flying sausage already over here, let's go ahead and fly it down and see if we can start grinding down that silly ground-based mining ship. I'm figuring if I was to ever build another one of those, I would either put the joints farther towards the back of it, that way hopefully its center of mass of the actual drills would sort of be in the middle of the body as well, or what I would actually end up doing is just having static drills on the front and a bunch of rotors that rotate a bunch of gyros to rotate the whole ship downwards. Sort of like we were trying to do to get it out, but vice versa. Also, probably not have it be so wide. Yeah, wheels, they have some limitations to them that I didn't quite expect due to, well, planetary gravity and the fact that, they have to actually fight gravity all the time and balance that sort of between friction and their amount of power and blah, 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 blah. I guess I could have just sort of put booster thrusters on the thing to get it moving forward and backwards and just use the wheels as rollers. Anyway, let's go ahead and hope we don't crash here. Are we still moving forward? Good, we stopped, so we should be alright. And we should be able to gobble up most of this. Now, even if we do successfully grind all of this down with the flying sausage, we're still going to go ahead and build those drones because, oh, you are floating forward faster than I would have liked. We're still going to build those drones just because I would like to have them. Only difficulty with those drones really is just going to be how are we going to set up their docking clamps, which I have a few hypotheses how I'm going to take care of that. Let's see. Hopefully we don't get overburdened here. If we do, we are most definitely going to be in a serious spot of bother. Interesting. The grinders are working, it's just that wheel is taking an awfully long time to be dissolved. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I wonder if we could also end up with that no collision glitch. It would be kind of nice if we could get that, particularly if we could also have it somehow affect the terrain, so we could just simply push the ship through everything. Oh, looks like we have gotten it. Your wish is my command, as my mother would always say, when it comes to the power of the mind. Do we have it affecting the actual terrain, though? Looks like somewhat, yes. It's dangerous, of course, but we'll try and see how this goes. Could have a huge explosion when we lose all of our grinders, which would be a bit unfortunate. But for the time being, it looks like everything's working. Also, I turned down my sound volume again. You might notice in the last episode, my sound was pretty much non-existent for most of it. That's because quite frequently, I find the sound of the game just to be, well, sort of unbalanced. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, it sounds alright, but other times, like when you're turning on and off drills particularly, it gets very, very loud. It's just like, oh yeah, sounds alright, like this right here. Yeah, sounds alright. And then you turn it off, it's that loud noise. Very, very annoying. Very, very annoying. Also, I can't seem to reverse. I don't know if it's because we've sort of overburdened ourselves, doubtful, or if it's simply just because we're, well, sort of snagged within a few pieces of this thing. I'm suspecting it's probably a mixture, honestly, at the moment. This might take a very long time. Let's see if we can balance the ship out by aiming upwards a little bit. Come on, come on. Trying to go move the ship up and down. It sort of makes the rotors, or not rotors, gyroscopes work a little bit better, it always seems. It's very odd how that is. Like, you can be sitting there holding the aim upwards button and nothing at all will happen, and then... Oh, what in the flying funk was that? Oh, we just got rid of the oxygen tank, I'm suspecting. So that was probably what that extremely loud noise was. Also, let's go spectator really quick right here. Look at this. And those 1,000,001 gyroscopes we stuck on everything, in a wonderful big pile now. Oh god. Yeah, we're probably most definitely going to need a small grinding ship. Of course, a single grinder, since there's no upgrade modules or tiered stuff for them, would take an absolute age, but it would probably still... Woo, dearie! Yeah, there's another oxygen tank. Probably the last one wasn't really... Ooh, I'm assuming that's what's making that sound. Jesus, it's like a snake almost. Yeah, the small drone with a singular grinder will probably still be quicker. Just fuck you. Scheiße. Just because, you won't have to be going back and forth to empty your inventory. God dang it. What's making that sound? That's not cool. I guess it must be like the cargo containers becoming empty. I just don't like that sound. I honestly don't. Let's see. If it is cargo containers, we should be having it right here in a second. Any second now. Okay, this is a very long second. And yes, my game froze and I just went silent for a second. Second. Oh, no sound. Okay, well, I don't know what the hell is making that creepy sound then. We took out our oxygen generator, we took out the oxygen tank, and then we still kept having it, so bleh. Oh, good. Ice. So much for, grinders picking up what was inside inventories. Okay, well, let's just remain calm. There is always the possibility that all of our inventories on board this ship are completely full. So let's type in the word, well, no, clearly our cockpit has room. So let's type in the word cargo, and yeah, that's got room in it. That's got a little tiny bit of room in it. It's got some ice. Yeah, very odd. Let's go ahead and dock this ship up, and actually drop off some of this. We can carry a little bit more in some of these. So let's keep on gathering. Don't understand why that piece of ice didn't get picked up. And we've just defeated a Cyberhound. You know what I think I'm going to do? I hate to see those Cyberhounds die, but at the same time, the devs said they added them in there just so there'd be an easy source of resources, which of course means you'd expect to be able to farm them, but so frequently you cannot. But hopefully it means we can get in here and not get ourselves... We're going to get killed. I know it. I'm calling it right now. Attempting to get this loot off of the Cyberhound. We're going to get ourselves killed. We didn't. Oh my god, it's a miracle. It's a modern Christmas miracle, even though it's nowhere near Christmas. Christmas in July, mate. Christmas in July lately. See it on TV all the time. Alrighty, I think we've done enough mining or grinding down there. We're going to fly our ship back up and dock it back up. In fact, you know what I think we're going to do on our way over there? we're even going to try to finish off this one thruster right over here. Gently now bring ourselves down and just try to put a little bit of welding into it. Boop. Hey, how you doing, cockpit? You're much easier to guide to where we need you to be. Bleep. Turn those welders back on to get this going. Our ship is about ready for the bombing run. I think in the next 2 or 3 episodes, we are most definitely going to go over and start poking at that enemy base. I've also heard there's a few more possibly on this planetoid, so if we can see their signals, we might deviate to take them out before finally leaving the planet. I know, we've been on the planet for ages, but let's be honest, it's been, well, relatively profitable, and I wanted to leave the planet when we were sure we were ready to leave it. And I'm pretty sure once we get all this stuff done, and even if we don't get it all done, but we get enough of it so we can fly about with ease, well, we'll be leaving the planet and more than ready to land on the moon to pick up that monolith. Because remember, that was one of our objectives. Now, I'm pretty sure the monolith has been annihilated by an auto cleanup bug that had been there quite some time ago, and they're pretty sure the devs didn't fix it, or if they did fix it, I should say, they didn't automatically replace the monoliths that were lost, which means I am going to need to find the coordinates of it and off-screen do a little tiny bit of magic. I suspect. There we go. Lock ourselves in place. Coolio. Okay, well, with that locked up, let's go ahead, build ourselves a little bit of a control post, and build ourselves another drone, like this one here. And I'm thinking, how do we want to build this? Because we want to build it a little tiny bit differently. How do we want to do it exactly, though? I think what we will do is, first and foremost, build it over here. That way we can look at the other one. Come on, wake up, game. There we go. We'll place this right along here. That actually worked. I was terrified it wouldn't for a second. And then we'll build it, okay, out with steel plates. And we can build it out to about right here. And we're going to start with, I think, the main body. And we'll go ahead and add, once again, 2 cargo containers. And I think we'll put them in like, how do we want this? Yeah, like this. And once more, one above it, like so. Coolio. And that way these two both have the large connectors coming through them. And then on the bottom, we're going to go ahead and, let me actually make sure this is connected up like so. On the bottom, we'll go ahead and put in our grinder right here. So it's a control 2. Grab our grinder and put you in. So as I said, a very simple grinding drone. And then for its way to connect into the actual facility, how do we want to go about doing that? Well, I'm thinking, instead of having the reactor right here, we might go ahead and use one of these and bump it up 2 layers and have a connection port up there. Either that, or we could drop this down 1 more with one of these and have the connector down there. And that would probably work well, but it would elongate the ship where our welding array would be swinging about very, very far. And I don't really actually want that. So I think we are going to go with the idea of boosting it up a little bit. So go ahead and put you here. Go ahead and put our group connector right about here. I think that should do us fine. And then we'll go ahead and put our connection point right like that. So now we'll go ahead and connect into everything from way up here. So elongated, yes indeed, but it should still work reasonably well. And then we're going to need our thrusters right along here as well. By the way, I really do, I've said it before, I'm saying it again, hate the fact that these thrusters have that slant to the one end of them. Nothing else on this thing deviates sort of left from right, front from back, but it has that, which means if you do just place them willy-nilly without paying attention to that, you are, well, going to obviously notice a very annoying thing once you hop up top and start, well, paying any other attention to it. Alrighty, so we got you in place. Now I just need to go ahead and do our thrusters around that. And then, of course, we're going to have to jury-rig a reactor on top of it. But unlike down there with the wheelie bits, it doesn't really matter if stuff gets a bit lopsided when it comes to thruster stuff. Center of weight doesn't have to exactly make sense, is what I'm getting at. There we go, that should be slightly better. Making sure they all connect in, cool. And before we go ahead and actually add anything more, we need to bring our welding ship over here and start welding it all up. And in fact, bringing it over here and thinking about welding makes me think maybe we should change this ship from a grinding ship to a welding ship. That way we can help use it to build up the other ship. So we can have a welder here, and then we'll build the other drone almost exactly the same as this, except for, of course, with a grinder. That should speed things up. That way we can use its precision welding in the near future. What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? Did you see that? It was like the whole station just moved. We're grinding down those pistons. We're grinding down those pistons. I'm not... We're not living with any of that crap down here. Come on. Quick, quick, quick. Let's get down here and get rid of those pistons. Should have never, ever, ever messed with that stuff. I knew it was going to be trouble. I just keep thinking, oh yeah, everything will be fine. No magical crap will happen. Nothing's going to randomly start moving if you actually delve into game features. But no, I know it. I know it. I know it either by my own incompetence and lack of understanding, like the wheels, and a bit of finickiness with them exploding and flying away with unbelievable amounts of power, or just the fact that pistons are the devil's work. Stuff's gonna go wrong. So let's get rid of this right now. If it's nothing else but just this one right here, I was just gonna separate it from the ship, even if it leaves scrap on the ground. Come on. There we go. Feel much safer already, don't you? Much, much safer. Alrighty, let's get back to rebuilding that drone that's now been destroyed and sitting on top of our solar panel. Cool. Oh, well, there's more up top than I thought was left. That's good. Maybe it was just sim speed doing its thing again, where the sim speed was finicky, so the game was like, yeah, you bumped it at 2 meters per second, and your ship has a mass of this much, so we're just gonna annihilate it completely. You know, in fact, we're even gonna redesign it a little bit. Instead of having it as we did before, we're gonna put our thrusters. Do we want to put our thrusters down here? It's gonna make it a little bit more difficult to maneuver, but I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. We'll put our thrusters down here. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, let's see. Can we put one of these here and actually have it connect? Yeah, so we can put that there. This should, yes, allow us to connect one right here without everything falling. There we are. So yeah, this design should be a little bit better, because now what I can do is, I believe it was on this side, have one of these connecting into the thing. Cool. So now we can just have that as our connection point, and then above it, we can have the same exact setup that we had over here. That should do the trick. In fact, if I am going to do that, I need to actually make sure that the small axis port is facing upwards. So let's rotate this like this. Big one on the bottom, big one on this side, and on the other side. And now we should be good to go with a small axis port right at the top where we can put our reactor in. And reactor coolio. That should work. Wow, those shadows were ominous. Almost reminded me of when the aliens were showing up at the beginning of the Fifth Element. Lad, I gotta get this done, bud. I love you, but I gotta get this done, okay? I'm sorry, bud. No, I need to get this done, buddy. Lad, I need to get this done, okay? Oh, I love you. I need to get this done. I know, bud. But your daddy really does need to get something done today. Lad, if I don't get this done, I have accomplished almost nothing today. Do you not understand how short on cash we are? I know, but you gotta give me 20 minutes, bud. You gotta give me 20 minutes. Oh, fine. Screw it all. Boy.